Did you know that a whale's anus can stretch up to 40 inches long, making it the second biggest arsehole in the world? Behind you! If you're offended by my jokes and my sense of humour, 1, I'm sorry. 2, I'll stop. 3, 1 and 2 are lies. And 4, fuck off!
Follow your dreams, bitch! I love aggressive positivity. Hey, you! You're fucking wonderful, okay? You're beautiful and you're doing great and I'm very proud of you. Fuck everyone else! You're a beautiful butterfly and you deserve love, bitch!
I just read an article on the dangers of drinking. So that's it. After today, no more reading.
What?
Don't you hate it when you make plans with someone and they remember? It really gets on my fucking nerves. Did you know that the human body has over 7 trillion nerves in it? And yet some people manage to get on every single fucking one of them.
Oh, I have something for you and I must give it to you immediately. Here. It's nothing, you know why? You don't need it, you're perfect already. Okay, I love you, squish, bye!
Prime Energy isn't in the UK.
And they swear it's the best drink ever made.
And how much you paid for it? £100.
So the question is,
Bingo, bingo!
is Prime actually good?
Cheers.
Fuck off.
Revelio. How nice to see you, my young...
What will happen if we're caught in the restricted section? To turn invisible. Spell. Avoid.
Well, the biggest advantage of extremism is that it makes you feel good. Because it provides you with enemies. Let me explain. The great thing about having enemies is that you can pretend that all the badness in the whole world is in your enemies, and all the goodness in the whole world is in you. Attractive, isn't it? So, if you have a lot of anger and resentment in you anyway, and you therefore enjoy abusing people, then you can pretend that you're only doing it because these enemies of yours are such very bad persons. And that if it wasn't for them, you'd actually be good-natured and courteous and rational all the time. So, if you want to feel good, become an extremist. You can be as nasty as you like, and yet feel your behaviors morally justified. So you can strut around abusing people and telling them you could eat them for breakfast and still think of yourself as a champion of the truth, a fighter for the greater good, and not the rather sad paranoid schizoid that you really are.
I remember sitting up there, seeing the orange glow of a new dawn break and knowing in my heart life would never feel this good again. And you know what? It never did.
Ready for the sorting ceremony?
He's sorted.
And now for something completely different.
I'd say it was fairly fucked today.
And now for something completely different. No, definitely not.
Pardon me! It's your son! Where have you been? I missed you! You're breaking my heart! How could you do this? First you left Mom, and now you kill my friends!
Are you nervy, irritable, depressed, tired of life? Keep it up.
And now for something completely different.
I'm body armored, and so is this vehicle. Explosive underbody shielding, bulletproof glass, military-grade run-flat tires, a smoke screen, pepper spray.
What are you, a bloody tank commander now? And now for something completely different.
Huh? You think you're tough?
I don't understand what vandalising his own sort of knob and bollocks.
And now for something completely different.
Dingle bongle, dingle dangle, yickety doo, yickety da, ping pong, lippy tappy too tar.
They used to be the Vikings stuff. Now look at them, Norwegians. That's a fucking collapse, isn't it? From horny helmets to
horny helmets.
And now for something completely different.
Russia's tested an ICBM named Satan II, but it failed. They tested it while Biden was in Ukraine, seemingly in an attempt to intimidate Ukraine and the US, as well as respond to his visit. But as I said, it failed.
Oh, God! Oh, God!
Ah, snow. Just another thing that gets laid more than me.
Didn't think it would end this way.
End? The journey doesn't end here. Death is just another path. One that we all must take. Grey red curtain of this world is back, and all turns to silver glass. And then you see it.
And Alpha. See what?
White shores. A far green country. Swift sunrise.
That isn't so bad.
No, it isn't.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to It's a Living. The rules are very simple. Each week we get a large fee. At the end of that week we get another large fee. If there's been no interruption at the end of the year, we get a repeat fee, which can be added on for tax purposes for the previous year or the following year if there's no new series. Every contestant, in addition to getting a large fee, is entitled to 3 drinks at the BBC, or if the show is over, 7 drinks. Unless he's an MP, in which case he can have 7 drinks before the show, or a bishop, only 3 drinks in toto. The winners will receive an additional fee, a prize which they can flog back, and a special fee for a guest appearance on Late Night Lineup. Well, those are the rules, that's the game. We'll be back again, same time next week. Till then, bye-bye.
You'll probably notice that I didn't say now for something completely different just now. This is simply because I am unable to appear in the show this week. Sorry to interrupt.
You know, certain people are widely read. I'm thinly read. I've read fuck all. I'm very proud of it. There's certain people say, no, I read Dr. Bronowski's book on cat eating by in Mahaba. You know, I just haven't read anything, you know. Even books, you know, I just, because I'm partially dyslexic. I was fully dyslexic until I met someone who's more dyslexic than me and said, you're only partially dyslexic. There's a lot of rivalry in the dyslexic camp, you know. Rivalry with 3 V's.
Tonight's Spectrum examines the whole question of frothing and falling, coughing and calling, screaming and bawling, walling and stalling, galling and mauling, falling and hauling, trawling and squalling and zawling. Stalling. Is there a word zawling? If there is, what does it mean? If there isn't, what does it mean? Perhaps both, maybe neither. What do I mean by the word mean? What do I mean by the word word? What do I mean by what do I mean? What do I mean by do and what do I do by mean? And what do I do by do, and what I mean by wasting your time like this. Good night.
What the bloody hell? Where'd it go?
And now for something completely different.
Is that your horse? Better nail a bit of semicircular metal to each of his feet. You ever had a blowout on a horse doing 70?
Good evening, everybody. Take things for granted, and they will be taken from you. Anybody who has ever left a packet of chocolate hobnobs unguarded will vouch for the truth in that statement. So often, the things we love the most, we care for the least. Even love itself, as we shall see, is like a regular intake of dietary fiber. Easy to ignore, but just try functioning properly without it.
Can't get my head around this platonic intergender relationship malarkey. It just doesn't seem right to me. Don't get me wrong, like, I don't mind having a chin wag with a honey, but I just like to do it after waggling on her chin, you know what I mean?
What is that? A bird? Is it a plane? Oh, no, wait, it's just the flying fucks I don't give.
I think that no one who's gone abroad should be allowed back in the country. I mean, blimey, they're not keen enough to stay here when they're here. Why should we allow them back? And then taxpayers' expense. I mean, be fair. I mean, I don't eat squirrels, do I? I mean, what? Perhaps I do, one or two, but there's no law against that, is there? It's a free country. I mean, if I want to eat a squirrel now and again, that's my own business, isn't it? I mean, I'm no racialist.
Using abacus, our ancestors could count how many possessions they owned. It was a short step from this to the invention of money. Ancient people invented currency to make life on Earth easier, but in doing so, they inadvertently invented capitalism, which is going to kill everyone. Sorry, that's not a question, it's just something I read on Twitter. Greece, the country, not the musical, was where the birth of civilization was born. The ancient Greeks invented lots of things we still have today, like medicine and olives, and lots of things that have died out, like democracy and pillars.
I've dreamed the European dream. I dreamt that every country in Europe spoke a different language and they hated each other. Oh, that's true, isn't it? Yes.
With its cowboys and guns and steam train rides, America became known as the land of the free, which must have come as a surprise to all the slaves. The barbaric practice of slavery was still prevalent in America, particularly in the southern states. But by finally thinking hard about the subject, the people of the northern states made a horrifying discovery: that inside each slave was an actual human person. The North asked the South what kind of America it wanted to live in. One where white people leeched off other races while treating them as inferior, or one where they pretended they didn't. The argument escalated into a civil war, a time when America was almost as polarised as it is today. After 4 long years of war-related violence, the North came out on top, which North is anyway. At long last, slavery was abolished and replaced with simple racial prejudice.
I would like to apologise for the way in which politicians are represented in this programme. It was never our intention to imply that politicians are weak-kneed political time servers who are concerned more with their personal vendettas and private power struggles than the problems of government. Nor to suggest at any point that they sacrifice their credibility by denying free debate on vital matters, in the mistaken impression that party unity comes before the well-being of the people they supposedly represent. Nor to imply at any stage that they are squabbling little toadies without an ounce of concern for the vital social problems of today. Nor indeed do we intend that viewers should consider them as crabby, ulcerous little self-seeking vermin with furry legs and an excessive addiction to alcohol and certain explicit sexual practices which some people might find offensive. We are sorry if this impression has come across.
On Twitter, there's so much outrage and we hear about it and it's taken seriously. You know, they're laying down the law, the rules of comedy. That's all stuff like, comedy should punch up. You should never punch down. You should never punch down. Sometimes you've got to punch down. Like, if you're beating up a disabled toddler. Do you know what I mean? If you punch up, you'll miss the little and they'll win, you know.
I make a habit of doing things that people say I can't do. Walk through fire, water ski blindfolded, take up piano at a late age. I've jumped from a high-rise building, using only a raincoat as a parachute, and broke both legs upon landing, and I still had to pretend I was in a fucking Cirque du Soleil show. I've swallowed enough microchips and shit them back out again to make a computer. This arm has been ripped off completely and reattached with this fucking arm. I watched the woman I love get tossed from a plane and hit by another plane mid-air. I drove a car off a freeway on top of a train while I was on fire. Not the car. I was on fire.
And now for something completely different.
You people are a bunch of dope-smoking masturbators. I don't know what This is a masturbation convention.
They're just there, just waiting to shout at people. You know, it must be a sad fucking life. We say, 5 o'clock, better get out and shout at people.
And now for something completely different.
Bombs go off when I enter the building. Bombs go off when I enter the building. Bombs go off when I enter the building. Bombs go off when I enter the building.
Nudge, grin, wink, say no more.
I used to take a photo of everything I ate, but my new girlfriend's a very private person.
Now for something completely different.
Not a tickling competition. These lads are out to hurt each other.
No conscience, no guilt. You'll never see a cat feeling guilty. You will never go into a room and see a cat like that. That's fuck. You go, what's the matter? What's the matter? All the fucking shit in there. That's what's the matter, mate. Like what? Like that bloody mouse I killed. Probably had a family, didn't it? I didn't have to torture it first. They don't give a fuck. If a cat was big enough, it would kill you and eat you.
Imagine me in Star Wars. Want to use the Force, mate? I know. Fucking legend, that geezer. What? You ain't my fucking dad? I've only tried to fuck my sister.
I hate it when you lose things, like your keys, your phone, or your fucking will to live.
And now for something completely different.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but I am a dwarf, and I am digging a hole. A diggy hole. A diggy hole. I am a dwarf, and I'm digging a hole.
Dwarfism is a growing problem. You're not meant to say dwarf anymore. You're meant to say little people. But I don't like the term little people one bit. Because little, bit patronising, and people, come on, that's a stretch.
And now for something completely different.
Ugly little ginger cunt.
You had two looks, hood up or hood down. That was it. Hood up for mysterious. Hood down for surprise. It's me.
I didn't lose any loved ones to COVID-19. I mean, a lot of my elderly relatives died, but no one I was that fond of.
And now for something completely different.
You can follow her on Twitter. I believe her username is The Whip Hand.
The koala is the laziest animal on Earth. It only eats eucalyptus leaves. Eucalyptus leaves are its source of food and water. There is a chemical in eucalyptus that reacts the same way to them that THC reacts to us. So they're stoned all fucking day. I'm a fucking koala, man.
I actually don't look at porn anymore. I don't look at internet pornography. Not a big moral thing on my part. I just choose not to because I recently finished it. Put the hours in, you can get there.
And now for something completely different.
Look it, it's got multiple speeds. Tonight, 5 more people were today dildoed to death. The footage is far too shocking, but we do have their final words. Oh, yeah. Oh, fuck, yeah. And help me, Brian, my fanny hammer's gone loco. Here's Jenny with the weather. Save yourself!
Don't mean to be over dramatic or anything, but where's my Oscar? For acting like a normal, happy, mentally stable fucking person.
And now for something completely different.
So you were saying you did lose your job as a result of the vaccines.
Yep.
Was that a big company or no?
Small company, self-employed, just myself. And
okay, so you kind of had to let yourself go. You fired yourself.
Just raise your hands. Now take that hand and slap yourself in the fucking face.
You know the phrase catfish? Someone goes online, pretends to be someone else. Catfish don't do that. They're not in the sea. Show us your tits, I'm a dolphin.
Just a little update on my life. One day I was born, and then everyone got on my fucking nerves. I think that brings us completely up to date.
And now for something completely different.
I like my women like I like my coffee. Covered in bees.
Here's a good rule of thumb. If you're a white person and you're going to say anything about race, it shouldn't involve your neck muscles. If you feel the urge before you speak to look around conspiratorially, shut the fuck up.